let's take a look at our boy, Andrew Schulz, friend of the show, appearing on the Joseph Robinette Rogan Experience.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah, where does our guilt extend?
Dude, this is a wild look, dude. Andrew is looking wild. Too sharp. Too sharp, Andrew. It's too crisp. It's too crisp.
Like, if we outsource all the things that we're guilty about, does it leave at our border? Like,
Never.
Motherfucker looking like a World War II pilot, dude. What is happening? He just straight up looks like a pilot that looking like Howard Zinn, bro. Yeah, his name was Patches O'Houlihan. I just came off of a long day of dogfighting. Them Nazis. Time to go slap my wife.
It never leaves.
Yeah.
You have a phone that's made by slaves.
But do you feel guilty about it?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting.
If there was
No,
a
you
company
don't.
that came
Shut
along
up.
that was like, if Samsung said, hey, we're going to make all of our phone
Cruelty-free.
Cruelty-free.
Yeah.
We're going to get all of our Cobalt from this place where we can ensure you that there's nothing there and no Chinese factory workers making, 16 cents a day or whatever the fuck they make.
Yeah.
It's not, if there
You want to know why he is? Shut up. You want to know why I know he's not? You want to know why I know he's capping here? Because if you ask his ape ass about the American minimum wage, he literally has disdain for the American working class living in the fucking imperial core. It is like, what do you mean? If you have issues with the way that like homeless people exist in society, then you can't, like, if you can't even extend that sympathy to a homeless person in America, why would I ever believe you give a fuck about some faceless, lifeless person living in the fucking global south that is being destroyed so that your iPhone can be powered? No shot.
there was a phone that was made in America that cost twice as much, I'd buy it in a fucking heartbeat.
But there isn't.
There isn't.
And because there isn't, what do? We put up with the guilt? Like,
Well, they fucked up. They fucked us. Okay, and to be connected to something where you absolutely need it, but it's morally reprehensible at its very core. Like, imagine how many people have tweeted self-righteous things on a phone that was made by slaves.
Yep.
And that's the reality of these.
Yeah, meanwhile, you do that as well. You just don't even... Dude, I hate people that fucking... I hate people that do this shit, okay? They will go, you're high-roading, you're virtue signaling, which is why I'm better. Because I'm not virtue signaling, I'm vice signaling. You say better things are possible. Well, better things are not possible, so I'm right. I'm right so I can say everything I want and say, no, things are good right now, and they should stay the way that they are. I hate this so much. The idea that, like, if you look at how fucked up society is, and you point at it and you say, we should probably try to change this a little bit, you're automatically a guy. If you're not out there fucking arming Thomas Sankara, you're a bad guy, okay? You can't even point to it. Meanwhile, the person who's calling you a bad guy for even pointing at the fucking structure being fundamentally flawed is a guy who's like, no, it should stay that way, actually. I think the systems are good. Shut the fuck up. What the fuck?
These phones, and Apple's one of the richest fucking companies on planet Earth. I don't know what the logistics would be involved in making
At a certain point, people just don't want you to literally fucking say anything. That's it. Oh, you don't like capitalism? You know, an iPhone and clothes made by child labor? Well, why aren't you independently wealthy enough to own the means of production to fix that? It's just the JRE combo, dude. Relax a little, man. No, I just get triggered because, like, it pisses me off because, like, it's something I have to deal with every fucking day. Because ultimately, you know what it is? It's people trying to get you to shut the fuck up about the problems because it makes them feel bad. Look at how much people hate Marx, right? That motherfucker loved capitalism so much he wrote a book about it. Died before he could like even finish all of it. You know what I mean? That's how much he loved it. He was like the mangaka for capitalism. He wrote a book with multiple volumes. But people get mad at him because he correctly described it as a fan does. I'm not sure he loved it. Let's be real. I mean, he was fascinated by it. Okay? This is what I always describe when talking about dialectical materialism. I'm telling you how things work. I'm just repeating how things work. Okay? You're the one who's ascribing a moral value to that description. And it makes you feel like you recognize, the moment that you recognize that the contradictions, you get angry because you've been sold a lie. And you recognize that lie, and then you get mad. And there are two things you could do when you get mad in a situation like that, in a moment of awakening. You either go, oh shit, there's truth to this, and you actually change my mind a little bit, or you dig your fucking heels in. And so many people dig their fucking heels in, and they go, fuck you. You're making me mad for making me question this shit. Fuck you. I'm going to shoot the fucking messenger. Meanwhile, for many cases, you don't have a deed to the factory. You claim to be a capitalist and you do not have a deed to the factory. So you're just preaching for a system that you don't even benefit from. That's what really frustrates me. Now you can turn around and say, Hasan, well, what about yourself? Like, blah, 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 blah. Like, yeah, I try to maintain my class position from a Marxian sense, even though there is no great way to fucking describe exactly what I do from that same lens. It's not a fucking religion. It's not dogmatic anyway, so it doesn't matter. But if you were to say I'm a petite bourgeois small business owner, okay, if you want to say it like that, yeah, I'm a fucking class trader. What's it to you? Why are you mad? Why does that make you frustrated? Because you're working class. Let's say I'm a fucking, I'm a ownership class, Andy. Why are you mad at me for being the one fucking guy who's literally telling you that things should be different that benefits you?
A phone in America with skilled labor that gets paid a fair wage and gets health insurance and union benefits and all that stuff. But whatever it is, I feel like I would like to pay.
Why do you think that communist movements usually start with academics, such as people with Marx and Huey Newton? Communist movement starts with academics because academics have more time in their hands. Usually. That's it. Okay, let's just watch this.
And we have Cobalt.
Maybe, and if I don't have the money, I'll buy less phones. I'll buy a phone. I have a fucking iPhone 11. One of my phone lines is an iPhone 11. Yeah. It's great. It still works. Yeah. It still seems so normal when I fire it up. It doesn't seem any different to me.
But do we have the mineral? Like, do we have cobalt in America that we can mine?
I don't think we do.
That's the tricky thing.
I don't know. Is cobalt available?
I thought it's only available in like the Congo.
Well, that's where the primary source is for sure. But I think there's at least one other place on Earth. I don't remember correctly.
Ooh, Mexico. Let's go. Mexico's this shit.
Listen, we have a problem with the cartels. Why don't we let's just like Mexico. Listen.
Do we have a problem with them? Do we have a problem with the cartels, or are we working with the cartels?
Well, for sure, someone's working with them. I mean, it's not just like 100% Mexican citizens that are sneaking across here and doing all this business. Someone's working with them. God damn, what's wrong with my throat? Yeah, someone for sure is working with them. But it's not good.
Think about it further, Joe. Who?
Good. It's not good to have this like fake scenario. You have a fake scenario. Say drugs are bad. If you make drugs illegal, no one's going to do drugs. Like your math sucks. Okay? Because that's not the correct math. The correct math is if you make drugs illegal, then illegal people sell drugs. You fucking asshole. And so now you've propped up a multi-billion-dollar industry south of the border filled with ruthless murderers. Idaho
is the only cobalt mine in the United States, and it's going to remain so. Okay, so we have some cobalt here. I'm sure they could find some more.
Okay, maybe we have just enough for us. How about just for us? Let's let the world make their own moral decisions.
Is he fucked up? What's going on? He sounds like particularly extra fucked.
But maybe if we legitimately are the moral high ground, we could like encourage the rest of the world to realize like the same thing we were talking about earlier about having too much money. Like, just don't. You can't just think about money. At a certain point in time, you have to just figure out what's best for everybody.
Yes.
And in this situation, if I was the king of the world, if I was the king of America, I would say, how about we only make phones that are in America?
Yep.
We make American-made phones with American. We'll have sanitary conditions that are safe and provide health care. All the things that you would hope someone working a fucking cobalt mine would get.
Yeah.
Give them a great wage. Like, make it so that this is an even exchange. It's not a negative exchange. Protect them from all the... And if we knew that the cobalt we're getting in our phone, you don't have to worry. These guys make $100,000 a year. They're fucking well paid. They live in a great community. Okay, great. Now I don't feel bad about my phone. But if you watch those videos from Foxconn, you see those fucking poor people slaving away all day long in this sweatshop, 16 hours a day. They have bunks there and shit. They put nets around the building to keep people from jumping off. That is so wild. Instead of changing the conditions,
They won't
these
let
people
you
have to
kill
work.
you. That's crazy.
They're like, get back to work.
Yeah.
They grab you by your hair, fucking drag you back down onto the floor. You probably owe them money or something. I mean, I don't know how they fucking do that.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. Do you feel
you would want everything you use in your everyday life to have a clean connection to like ethically sourced materials, great relationships with workers, no greedy corporations that are fucking over the environment.
Bro, give Andrew a Thompson machine gun and let him fucking shred the Nazis, okay? He just... Like, I can't get over this look. I know it's completely irrelevant to what Joe's talking about, and we let him cook, and he's probably going to say some commie shit without realizing it. But I cannot get over the fact that this dude looks like out of a lineup, okay? Let me at those Nazis. Let me at those Nazi punks. It's so funny. I just... This fits awesome. It's so great. I love it. Literally Brad Pitt from Inglourious Basterds, yeah. I call my gun the Nazi killer. I call it the Nazi shredder, as a matter of fact. Once it goes burr, once I put the drum mag on, it's over for them Nazis.
trying to pay their fucking rent, and they're
For
like,
sure.
all right, if this is a little bit cheaper, I have a little bit more money for my family, my parents who are sick, and my kids. Like, I can buy them another fucking baseball mitt. And so they can't even consider people in the Congo. And I think that's the tricky thing where, like, they know it's almost like the Amazon situation where it's like most people probably know that Amazon might not be the best situation for like mom and pop businesses, but it's so convenient to them and it's so much cheaper and it's so efficient that they just go, all right, well, this is great for me.
Yeah. There's that. It is interesting, but I think that in those circumstances, when, there's people that just can't afford to buy, whatever it is, ethically sourced and organically grown, all that there should be other options. But if there was a clear option that someone could take, if a phone costs $1,200, right?
This article I just looked up is saying that cell phones are not what's driving the cobalt price rise. It is
price rise.
It's batteries. It's car batteries.
But yeah, well, that was
like Teslas and shit.
But that is what they use them in cell phones. It's like lithium-ion batteries.
8 grams of cobalt is in a cell phone.
And how much is in like a 9-volt battery?
How much cobalt in a? I don't know if it's in a 9-volt, but the rechargeable battery.
That's okay. I see your point. And you're right. It's like It's everything electronics. We're thinking about it as cell phones, but that's because cell phones are the primary
It just dominated
method
our
of
life.
communication, and just how many podcasts are listened to on cell phones?
Yeah.
All of them?
Yeah.
Or is it like 90%? Like, imagine if cell phones were made illegal and people still had to get podcasts. Like,
Done.
the majority of modern electric vehicles use these battery chemistries and lithium, nickel, manganese, cobalt oxide, in which have a cathode containing 10 to 20% cobalt. And what was the cell phone?
8 grams.
8 grams. But that's a different measurement unit, right? One of them is percentage.
Yeah, I was trying
One
to
of
find
them's grams.
how many grams.
Either way,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's kind of for everything with lithium-ion batteries. It does something to stabilize it.
You know what it's like? It's almost like asking
4 to 30 kilograms for EV.
5%. Okay, cell structure requires a minimum amount of cobalt, about 5%, and less lower energy density. Lithium-ion batteries without cobalt are used at the expense of performance. A typical smartphone battery requires only 5 to 20 grams of cobalt, whereas an EV requires between 4 and 30 kilograms. Whoa.
It's a lot more.
It's electric cars. Electric cars are fucking up the environment.
Okay, I mean, I have a solution to that. I'm just saying, you got a problem with that? There's a solution to that. It's called trades. I couldn't fucking pull the meme quick enough, so I can't. I had to sing it myself. Bro went so right, he's on the left. Bro is on nothing, okay? Are you out of your mind? He's on a different fucking plane of existence, dog. Look at him. He's like a zooted out, roided out turtle right now. He's like, bruh, cobalt mining. He is not retaining information right now. He is not cooking. He is not doing anything right now, okay? He will retain 0% of the information that he is hearing from one ear as it directly gets out of the other immediately after it's done.
Oh, no. Isn't that like, what a conundrum?
Life is funny.
I mean, it's not just the environment.
Look at his
It's
eyes.
like,
Look at his eyes. He's like, such a conundrum, dog. What the fuck?
when I'm saying the environment, I'm like the frequency of the earth.
Yes.
You know, like until somebody cleans that up, the mines, and until somebody actually looks at like every electronic thing with lithium-ion batteries is connected to this horrific crime against humanity.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Nothing.
Nothing.
Wild. All the chitter chatter, all the talk about equality and equity and helping and charity, and what about that?
We're all
not a
personally responsible.
Yeah, bro,
for
this
it.
ain't a secret. It's not like a fucking X marks the spot in a pirate map.
Nope.
This is
Google.
Yeah, Google. And
Yeah.
I had Siddharth Kaur on my podcast. We talked about it in front of fucking millions of people. People know it's a thing.
Yeah.
And they're not even talking about it. They're not doing shit.
It's inconvenient.
It's
Too
very
inconvenient to care about.
It's very inconvenient
Yeah.
for all of us.
Yeah. We're not going to stop using our phones.
Idaho Cell Phone Company.
You going to start it?
That should be the name of the company, Idaho Cell Phone Company.
Dude,
'Cause
Idaho?
they mine cobalt. Let's build this is what, if Apple was smart,
Yeah.
they'd make a deal.
Okay.
Like, you can buy iPhone, you can buy iPhone Pro, iPhone Pro.
Joe Rogan, like a medieval peasant during the 30 Years' War, is trying to find the words to verbalize his discontent, but he's so stupid he can't do it. Joe Rogan, also like a medieval peasant during the 30 Years' War, is a firm believer of the mystical creatures that certainly exist. Whether it be like ice trolls. He also believes in a litany of other like holistic things that you can do to save yourself. So there is a lot going on in the mind of Joe Rogan that resembles the mind of a medieval peasant. Also, Hell on Earth watchers are coming into the chat and dropping things like 30 Years War. Or TrueAnon watchers who saw the episode with Brace and Matt Chrisman. People get giant tattoos of this man. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, in a lot of ways, like this is a Felix Biederman joke, but I mean, I've made similar jokes as well. But like, yeah, we have officially arrived at neo-serfdom, neo-feudalism, where like, yes, the peasants are unironically fucking claiming that like ice trolls exist. Yeah, that's it. That's where we're at right now. Stony Stone 19, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Prove that they don't. Yeah, I mean, I can't. You're right. Owned. You got to get Angel Schulz on the pod when he comes to Los Angeles. I don't know where he is. Chris Wade Erasure, you're right. I apologize. Chris Wade and Matt Chrisman. Why is it that nobody thinks like supporting Chapo and TrueAnon is considered? Yo, podcasters got away so easy. They did. We moved on from podcasters being like shitty and a burden to society so quickly to Twitch streamers. And the next wave is going to be TikTokers if that ever like becomes solidified. You know what I mean? In like the leftist, in the eyes of the leftists. But like there was a point in time when everyone was like, man, the Chapo, oh, they're getting too much. They're getting paid too much. Oh, you think you're supporting the revolution by paying $5 to Chapo, to the Chapo Patreon? It's like, no one is thinking that. No one is doing that. Like no one is doing that. And the same principle exists for this too. And yet the very same like wannabe fucking Felix Biederman ass dumbasses on fucking Twitter literally launch those arguments against me when they are trying to do the Chapo podcast, like the second Chapo. It's only a matter of time before people who complain about you being a grifter start Twitch streaming. Most of the people who criticize you have podcasts, Patreon, Substacks of their own now. I bet they were complaining about Chapo in the beginning. Yeah. I'm doing practice by funding Felix's CSGO case gambling addiction. True. Speaking of which,